Hello everyone, welcome back to another video and a new tree you see right in front of you here, namely a Chinese privet. Also for me, a new tree, so I only bought this a couple of days ago, have not worked on it yet, and that is what this video is about, an initial styling or initial working on this tree that I, as I said, have bought a couple of days before. I have not had a Chinese privet before, Chinese privet bonsai. It is a variety that I know you can have as an indoor bonsai. I mainly like indoor bonsai, as you probably know already if you are familiar with my channel. However, this variety has eluded me until now simply because I always thought it's a bit more finicky. However, I saw this little tree right here in a garden center. I really liked the way it looked, so I thought why not give it a try with this variety. As I said, Chinese privet. What I want to do today is not talk too much about the variety. As I said before, it is the first time I work on this, so I don't really have any insights yet on how to best care for it. So it is learning by doing for me with this one. Of course, I read up a bit about it, what to do and how to take care of it. But as you probably know yourself, trees often, it very much depends on the environment in your home. It can be that what you read online, for example, on how to take care of them is maybe not always best situated also to your environment simply. So there might be differences. So I will definitely at a later point will make a video about also how I keep it in my flat and how it's faring. But for today, actually what I want to do is an initial pruning a bit of it. You can see there's a lot of long shoots on it, so it has had a very healthy growth season, I must say. That was actually one of the reasons I decided for this specific tree, because it seems so healthy, really a lot of new growth. It is now basically the end of growth season, so I want to get rid of all those shoots here. I don't go too deep when it comes to structural pruning. I also decided not to repot that late in the growth season, simply because I do want this to survive the next winter. So probably repotting I will look into in spring, come spring, but for now, as I said, let's get on with pruning back all of those new shoots. What I really like also about this genus or this variety is how good the leaves are actually fitting for bonsai. They're very small, they're very narrow together. So definitely a very pleasing tree, I must say. So a very, very nice looking tree in general. So I'm really looking forward to keep working on this now for longer. So I'm really just going around the tree, taking out all of these new branches or shoots that have developed. I also see that a lot of those are actually coming from points where it has been cut prior already, so definitely also a tree that seems to benefit from pruning back, and the ramification definitely seems to benefit from it. So here we still have one. As I said, growth season is almost over, so I don't really expect any new growth then appearing after this pruning session for this growth season still, but definitely not a problem for me. I'd rather have it prepared for now winter, and then come spring again I will definitely keep working on it a bit more. This one here is a bit too low hanging for me, so I actually will take this one out. Here we have a branch that is also quite low, but as I said, I don't want to do too much structural stuff today, so we'll keep it on just this lower side branch. I think we can safely take out. Also here we just have one rogue leaf on this branch left, so I would also take this one out. Just opening up a bit, I can see here this one is still a bit too long for my liking as a side branch, so I'm also taking this out. Of course, I'm going for this broom-like shape with this tree, also the way it was intended, the way it was grown commercially. So I'm not trying to go too crazy on changing the form of the tree. What you can see here is actually where it was cut back. So probably you know how these are grown. So you have them grown quite tall. You cut them back to just lower down at the trunk. and then have side branches develop that then form the actual apex of the tree. So I still see this dead stump in here that I will, let me see, try if I can just clean up already a bit. However, I don't think I have the right shears at hand for this at the moment, but at least I can shorten it a bit, already making it look simply a bit nicer. So here's still some new growth, also taking that back, simply getting it into a good shape for winter. We have also some branching that I'm not so sure I will keep in the future. I'm not really that happy with at the moment, but I will also, as I said, look further into that at a later point. The lower growth here I will take out because it simply gives me already a better view than on what I can expect in the future of this tree. And even like smaller things like these here, just to open up the structure here. The smaller leaves I simply rip out like this, giving me already a better view. Still showing me things that are not fully where they are supposed to be yet. But a very vigorous tree, I must say. Also cutting it back now, there's a lot of leaves inside also developing still nicely. So it hasn't grown too dense or too dense on top, so it's still got enough light to also support the leaves further in. And I really do enjoy the look of this tree. I can see here a very strong lower branch here that maybe at one point we might even take out, have it then simply fill in naturally again here. But for the moment, I might keep it simply as a back branch because it really fills in everything nicely here. If you see, without it, it would thin it out quite considerably. So now I keep it on still, but at a later point, we might get rid of this stem right here, of this branch right here. In general, I really do enjoy the ramification also on this tree. So it does have a very nice ramification going on all branches, I must say. A good trunk, of course, probably a lot hidden still underneath the soil. As I said, repotting is simply too late in the season for my liking already, so I will not repot it at this point. However, in spring, it definitely could benefit from it because it is in a very dense soil, as these commercially grown trees are often. So definitely in spring, we will then look into repotting it. But for now, giving you one last look of this tree, I think it has a good shape. We cut it back quite nicely. Some tips, of course, we can still take out. Also here a bit. And here, that is very new growth still, so really, really nice, really healthy tree. And as I said, I'm looking forward to spring and new growth season with this one. I think it's a tree where I can learn a lot from, where I can test a lot of things on. A variety I have not had that much knowledge about prior to it, so I'm really happy to learn, simply learning by really getting into action with this tree, trying different things, repotting it, seeing how it fares in my home, and keeping you, of course, up to date. If you want to know more about this tree, of course, feel free to leave your questions in the comments and I will answer them as soon as I see them. If you enjoyed this video, of course, I would also really love it if you leave a like, and if you enjoy this channel, of course, feel free to subscribe to it. Hopefully I see you then in the next video. Until then, goodbye.